Welcome to the online parent-student activity meeting. This meeting will highlight some of the common questions and issues that arise during a student's participation in the activity program. The full student and parent activity handbook can be found online on the Fargo Public Schools website and on each school's individual website. Paper copies of the handbook are also available at your school's activity office. The activity programs in the Fargo Public Schools exist for the development of skills, attitudes, and self-esteem of our students. The programs are intended to enhance the physical, social, emotional, artistic, and intellectual growth of our young people. We are proud to offer an education-based activity program that serves to enhance the educational experience of our students. It is important to note that participation in the activity program is voluntary and is a privilege rather than a right. Therefore, when a student signs their name to accept the terms of the activity code, they voluntarily agree to follow the code as a condition of their participation in the Fargo Public Schools activity program. Our first topic is academic eligibility. Students will need a passing grade in 2.5 credit hours per week or 5 half-credit classes to be academically eligible. At the high school level, grade checks will be made in 3-week intervals to include the end of each grading period. Middle school students participating in high school activities need to be passing all courses to be eligible. Middle school students participating in middle school activities are ineligible if they have more than 1 F. At the middle school level, grade checks will be made in 2-week intervals, and a student may become eligible or ineligible at each grade check. Students must be in attendance for the full day of school to attend practice or participate in a competition. Excuses are accepted for verified medical appointments and other emergencies. Students are ineligible to participate if they are suspended or expelled from school. Students are ineligible when they become 20 years old. An annual physical must be on file for each participant in our athletic programs. Physicals completed for the 2019-2020 school year will be accepted during the 2020-21 school year, with a completed 2021 Physical Form B. Students without a physical on file will still be required to complete a physical to participate. If a student transfers to another school without a corresponding change of residence by their parents, they are ineligible for 1 calendar year from varsity competition. The student will be allowed to participate at the sub-varsity level. A student may not compete with a non-school team or as an unattached individual in that same sport during the school season. 2 common violations of this rule are a student on a school basketball team playing in a non-school travel tournament during the season, or a cross-country athlete participating in a non-school road race during the school cross-country season. Students may also be ruled ineligible for gross misconduct. If you have questions regarding eligibility, please contact your building activity coordinator. Any type of harassment is strictly prohibited. Additional information on the various types of harassment and the reporting procedures can be found in the Activities Handbook on the Fargo Public Schools website. Fargo Public Schools fully supports the provisions of Title IX. Any Title IX complaints can be directed to the District Title IX compliance officers who are listed in the Activities Handbook. Hazing of any type is strictly prohibited. Any suspected hazing should be reported to the building principal and the activity coordinator. Many of our students are involved in multiple activities which may on occasion conflict with each other. Guidelines for resolving these conflicts are listed on page 8 in the Activity Handbook. Activity participants are expected to dress appropriately for their activities. Guidelines will be provided by the coach or advisor. Students who travel to out-of-town activities are to travel to and from the activity with their team or group. Any exceptions must be approved by the coach or advisor and the building activity coordinator. Participants will be suspended for the possession, use, or purchase of tobacco products, alcoholic beverages, or illegal drugs. Unauthorized possession, use, purchase, or attempted sale or purchase of otherwise legal drugs is also grounds for suspension. Students will also be suspended for criminal acts or exceedingly inappropriate or offensive conduct. Participants will also be suspended for being merely present at a function where the student knows or has reason to know that alcohol or illegal drugs are being consumed by minors and failing to leave despite having a responsible and reasonable opportunity to do so. The consequence for being merely present is a suspension of 2 weeks or 2 contests, whichever is greater. The suspension for an illegal substance violation or for the other prohibited behaviors is for a period of 6 consecutive weeks in the student's current and/or next activity season. The suspensions for subsequent violations are for a period of 18 consecutive weeks in the student's current and/or next activity season, along with the listed interventions. Violations are cumulative over the student's middle school career and again over the student's high school career. Suspensions begin once the school is notified and are completed over consecutive weeks. Suspensions for out-of-season violations begin with the student's next activity. A student who elects to participate in another activity to complete their suspension must complete the full season of that activity. Students are allowed to practice during their suspensions, but cannot participate in competitions or other public performances other than graded curricular music contests. Participants who are suspended during a season will not receive a letter or any other school-sponsored recognition. The season is defined as from the start of practice to the season-ending awards presentation. A student who is suspended will be prohibited from acting in leadership roles for a period of 12 months from the date of suspension. Students committing crimes including hazing that negatively impact the performance status or personal growth of other participants will be dismissed from all activities. The procedures used by school administration for investigating infractions are detailed on pages 13 and 14 of the activity handbook. Sportsmanship, respect, and ethical behavior are key components of our activity program. Good sportsmanship is expected at all times from all participants and fans. Clear and appropriate communication between parents and the coach or advisor is critical to a student's successful experience in high school activities. Participation in the activities program will provide students with many rewarding experiences. There will also be times of difficulty and adversity. Learning to work through adversity is one of the critical skills that students learn through their participation. If there are concerns that are to be directed to the coach or advisor, please wait 24 hours or until the next day to address them. Time often provides all parties with better insight. Along with completion of the online student and parent meeting, there are 3 other forms that are required prior to participation in the athletic activities offered by the Fargo Public Schools. The first is the HIPAA form, which allows medical information about the student athlete to be shared with the athletic training staff, coaches, and administration. The second is the physical form that was referenced earlier in the meeting. The final form is the Concussion Information Verification Form, which is required by North Dakota state law for all students participating in our athletic programs. Each of these forms can be accessed in PowerSchool under the Registration Forms tab. The activity fee for those competing at the high school level is $50 per activity. At the middle school level, the fee is $30 per activity. Fee waivers are available by contacting your building activity coordinator. If you have any questions about the information contained in this presentation or about the activity program in general, please contact your building activity coordinator. Thank you for your completion of the online student-parent activity meeting. Best wishes for a successful year of high school activities.